What? Okay, I'm pretty sure that's protected by the Constitution. Oh, okay. Okay, man, what the f? You're watching the Peculiar History Channel. Today we'll be switching things up a bit and covering some more current day events regarding our newest elected president. But as a previous teacher of mine would often say, current events are just history that hasn't become history yet. Before we get into the executive orders from our president, maybe we should warm up a bit with something a little more heartwarming, something like, his attacks on DEI. On Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, tragedy struck the DC area when a civilian passenger airplane carrying just over 60 people on board collided with a military-grade helicopter over the Potomac River. 2 black boxes were recovered from the crash. Black boxes are actually usually a bright color, so they can be identified easier amongst the wreckage. Black boxes contain all data from the last moments of an airplane collision, pilot voice recordings, airplane maneuverings, as well as some other info. However, although this aviation tragedy was the most devastating we've seen on American soil in over 20 years, our current president decided it would be just the perfect opportunity to boost his own agenda and rhetoric. In Trump's White House briefing on Thursday, January 30th, just one day after the crash, he decided it wasn't too soon to start pointing the finger at the people he hates the most, brown people and Joe Biden. Donald Trump claimed that these crashes were the result of an incompetent Joe Biden and incompetent former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, claiming that this crash was most likely the result of a DEI hire. Trump also immediately shifted the blame onto the pilot of the helicopter, and I feel the need to remind you all that Donald Trump is saying all of this with zero evidence and zero investigating, one day after the crash. He's just fueled by the hate in his heart, plus the Coke and Ozempic battling for supremacy flowing through his veins. Oh, actually, I meant a different kind of Coke. Well, actually, it's probably both kinds of Coke. Rest in peace to the victims of the crash, and please, 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 don't listen to this guy. He literally has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Oh, speaking of not knowing what the hell he's talking about, let's talk tariffs. Donald Trump plans to put a 25% tariff on all Mexico and Canada imports. I repeat, Canada, the place we get our wood from that's used to build, everything. Quick history lesson on tariffs. The first US imposed tariff was in 1789, and it served a very valuable purpose. A valuable purpose in 1789. Not 2025. You see, the US colonies had just won their independence. Hooray. But they were a baby nation with no money. In order to get money, the government had to intervene. We didn't really have the free and fair market yet because, like we mentioned, the country was brand spanking new. So instead of trading through major privatized companies like we do in 2025, at the time the US government was in charge of imports from other nations. All colonies except for New Jersey and Delaware had sanctioned a 5% tariff on all imported goods. These tariffs would aid in increasing the United States government's revenue. And keep in mind also that we did not have a federal income tax, so it was essential that the government enact these tariffs. In 2025, however, things are different. A common misconception that I don't even think Donald Trump realizes, and since he's surrounded himself with yes men, no one will ever call him out on it. The other nation does not pay the tariff. The company that takes the risk of importing the product is the one who has to pay for the tariff. Now, maybe the billionaire corporations will cut consumers some slack, but I highly doubt that. Not to mention that Donald Trump has called on a 25% tariff, meaning that a company is going to have to lose 25% of profit, meaning they will most certainly have to raise their prices. And when a company which imports timber from Canada now has to pay an extra 25% to import their product, they will now have to charge more money for that said timber in order to make profit. What this will do is it will drive up the price of timber exponentially, meaning the price of building construction will go up. which means the price of rent and lease in said buildings will also go up, which in turn means a small business who plans on having a storefront in that building will have to cough up more money to occupy space in said building. Price of rent going up means that the small business will have to charge more for their product, meaning that now your favorite local coffee shop will be serving $11 lattes. All because Donald Trump doesn't know how a fucking tariff works. But hey, I'm not an economics expert, but these guys are.
No, you know what? Not even whites. Nobody gets any rights. America.